That's a very diplomatic and political way of doing it. You can tell that Deadly's on breakfast and not on the melting pot, which is after the watershed, of course.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
Always looking forward to catching up with Deadly now. From Melting Pot, of course, your local music show is going to be on tonight on Get Radio from 9 o'clock. Deadly, good morning, mate.
Good morning, Rich. I mean, it's quite a contrast for you, isn't it? Going from Mauritius, nice and warm, to here.
Do you know what? It wasn't, the culture shock wasn't too bad because I got back a few weeks ago, so it was still quite mild. But honestly, yeah, there's probably a 35-degree temperature swing between there and now. So yeah, chilly nevertheless. Warm us up with some awesome stuff that's happening on tonight's show, of course. Back on your radios from 9 o'clock. What you got in store?
Well, this evening's show, we have special guest Kiaran, who's from a band called the Sherlocks. Now, they're supporting Shed 7 at the O2 Academy next month. And, I mean, they're a really good up-and-coming indie band. I mean, they've had something like 5 top 10 albums already.
Yeah, they
Something
have,
like
haven't
that.
they? Yeah, I was going to say that normally when Deadly starts going down an indie road, I kind of I start to blank over and I kind of go, oh no, do I know these? Do I know? But actually, no, the Sherlocks, absolutely awesome. Been, like you said, been around a little while and had loads of great music out already and supporting Shed 7. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're lovely guys as well. And Rich had a lovely chat with them, and we played a couple of songs of theirs and giving them a little bit of a plug. And also we have lots of new music, obviously. Deadbeat Apostles, Kokroachez, all the usual sort of people, and a couple of bands we haven't played before, Faithhealers, and stuff like that. So yeah, lots going on.
Brilliant. We always like lots going on. Now I'm gonna fire a question but it seems to me. So it seems to me this might not be the case. Is it me, or there are loads of great nights on at the moment? And that's something I don't think I've said for quite a while. Maybe this is because I'm sort of looking forward to this weekend. There's a cracking gig on with the Deadbeat Apostles down at the old Handlebar and Beaker as well. Tiger Mendoza DJ set and what have you. So maybe it's on my radar a little bit more. But it feels like there are loads of great nights popping up in loads of different places. I know that's really sort of generic and things to say, but instead of kind of going, okay, losing venues left, right, and centre, and we see it all the time, and we've experienced it here in Oxfordshire. But actually, places that are maybe a bit more established are more open now to doing music. I'm going to use an example of the Part and Parcel, for example, in Whitney. There's somewhere that every Friday, every Saturday night has either amazing DJs, amazing local bands on. Does it? Are you kind of seeing that? Are you feeling that as well? Am I right in sort of saying that?
Yeah, I think with the music scene, it always finds a way. Yes, we've had the closures, etc., but it does always find a way of sort of finding new venues and branching out. And it's great to see the Part and Parcel and Studio 7 as well in Whitney doing stuff. And you've also always had Fat Lils, but you've also got the Red Lion and Ensham doing bits and bobs and lots of little things around the outskirts of Oxford, not just in Oxford now, which is great. And Abingdon have always had the Skittle Alley and places like that. Didcot, the Cornerstone. I think the youth centre might still be doing gigs every now and again, but I wouldn't quote me on that.
No. But
who'd want to go to Didcot anyway?
There we go. But
I'm allowed to say that I'm from there originally.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to, definitely. But there is that kind of feeling that there is a need and there is a want, and I think you nailed it by saying that the music industry finds a way, because it's had to navigate everything that's thrown at it. From established venues closing down, where you go, okay, well, it's all set up for a band. There's a stage, there's a sound desk, there's this. To actually going, okay, it's a little bit more DIY now. It's maybe not there, but we'll bring our speakers in, and you can, we've talked about this before. Oh yeah, well, we'll set up one drum kit, and you can use mine, and I'll use this. It is still that feeling, and yet again, the Oxfordshire music scene has found a way, which is brilliant.
And we always stick together as well. That's what I love about the scene. Everybody helps everybody else out. It doesn't matter what the genre is. If they can help, they will, and they'll support the bands. They'll support the gigs. and they'll come out in force. And like you just have to look at Night Shift to see how many great bands there are in the city, in the
Yeah,
county.
it's funny, sort of obviously, sort of listening to the show, you pick up, new bands and listen to them. But actually, as well, like you say, in Night Shift magazine, when you're in a pub, as I tend to be, and you pick up that magazine, you flick through it, and you go, oh, that's new. Oh, I didn't know about. Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, did it? Again, the music scene has found a way. It's getting great. You're at the forefront of it. Of course, the fantastic melting pot as well. You're kind of speaking to emerging bands. You're speaking to established bands. You're speaking to absolutely everyone here in Oxfordshire. I always ask you for favourites, but I'm going to slightly change that instead of putting you on the spot with sort of favourites. Is there anything we should be looking out for in the Oxfordshire music scene that has kind of taken your eye and ear maybe over the last month or so? Is it last time we spoke or something like that?
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of bands now reforming from the sort of late '90s, early 2000s, and it's wonderful to see. I mean, these are the bands that I first started watching when I first started going attending gigs and stuff. So people like Arthur Turner's Love Child are reforming for a one-off gig in January. Well, maybe not a one-off gig. Who knows with Mac? But Beaker again reformed, and so that's great to see. But then you've got all these young upcoming bands. We always mention the Kokroachez, but you've got a couple of other bands. I think we're playing one on tonight's show. They're very young and very upcoming, but very musically talented. And you think they're only 18, 19, and they're doing stuff I wouldn't have only been able to dream of at that age.
There's a little bit of green-eyed monster in there, isn't there? Because you're like, oh God, you're really good and you're really young and you're only going to get better. It's absolutely mad. I was going to ask you,
And I'm an old fart now.
yeah, well, we all are, mate. We all are. We know that. I was going to ask you, what there is a resurgence, and I've seen it with I'm sort of learning through the melting pot more than anything else about these kind of sort of early 2000s band. Around that time, I was into my dance music. Anything with guitars in. I was like, and as my taste has moved on and changed, and kind of your palette it sort of extends into different musical areas. There are a lot of bands reforming. Why? Can you put your finger on it? Why? I mean, obviously, there must be a calling for it.
Yeah, when you look at the sort of festivals and what have you, there's sort of these sort of rewinds and shine-ons and all that, and they're all celebrating the music from those sort of eras. So there's always been a calling for it. It's nice for us old blokes to see a band that we enjoyed watching many, many years ago, one last time.
Yeah,
it's good but it's also nice for the youngsters as well to see these bands that we rant and rave about.
Yeah.
And they can see what the fuss was all about, and maybe they'll go, don't get it, what was the fuss? But some of them might go, wow, that's brilliant, and be inspired. So
I'm gonna ask it, and this is
I know one thing for sure, it's not about money.
It's the music industry, it's never been about money. I'm gonna ask you
Exactly.
I'm gonna ask you about bands reforming, and I've not asked you about this, and it's certainly not a local band or what have you. Where are you standing on the Oasis reunion? That I don't know. I'm just going to leave it there. Where do you stand on it?
For me, the thought of being stood in a field with 100,000 very, very drunk blokes throwing their urine in the air has no appeal whatsoever. I adored that lad culture, and I still do. And it's not for me.
Not for you. Okay,
I can see why people were getting excited about it.
That's a very diplomatic and political way of doing it. You can tell that Deadly's on breakfast and not on the melting pot, which is after the watershed, of course. Nice one, Deadly. Well, we look forward to tonight's show at 9:00, as always, and top man for joining us this morning. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Rich. Thanks a lot.
It's brilliant stuff. It's Deadly, of course, and check out the melting pot with loads more conversations, loads more incredible local artists and local musicians being played on the show tonight from 9. Do not miss it.